Hey everyone, Teo here. Today I'm reviewing the XPPen ACS15 Ergo Stand. This is a stand that can let you adjust the angle of your pen display as well as the height. And you can also change the orientation from landscape to portrait very easily. Okay, first of all, disclaimer, this is actually a review sample provided by the company. And in this video, I'll just present to you my findings so that you can decide whether this is worth the money. The price of this stand is $259 US, and at the time of making this video, this stand is not widely available for purchase yet, but this should be available for purchase in more places very soon. I highly recommend you watch this whole video so that you do not damage your pen display or the stand like I did during installation process, because I had some issues with the VESA mounting plate behind, more specifically the screw. Alright, let me give you the bottom line up front. This is a good looking stand. Just note that it takes up a lot of space on your table, so make sure you have a big table. And this stand works as advertised. It's very flexible, very adjustable, and it's very stable, so that is great for drawing. This is the base, the stand. There are some screws, 5 big ones and 4 small ones, and there's Allen key screwdriver. If you look at the user manual, you can see the installation sequence. So it recommends putting the display facing down and install the stand to the display, and then the base to the stand. So these two are heavy. The total weight is 4.6 kg. Let me put the stand aside first and look at this. So this is a big base, and the top is matte textured metal, and you can see 5 holes here. So the 5 big screws will go into these 5 holes. And let's look at the back. And the back is also full metal. So this base is made with full metal throughout, except for the 4 silicone or rubber feet with very good grip on the table. So this part here is actually the back, and this is the front that is facing you, and there is this big empty space here where you can put your things, your pen, your eraser, stationery. This is the side profile, so the base is actually not too thick. The finishing seems good enough. There are no sharp edges. The rubber padding at the front actually extends from the bottom all the way up and above the base. This is so that when you angle your display down towards the table, the display can rest onto the rubber padding. And this is the stand, which is also made with full metal throughout. This is hollow because if it's really full metal inside, this will be extremely heavy. And the design looks good. The surface is matte textured throughout, and the edges are all beveled, so there are no sharp edges. This supports VESA mounting, and this is 75 by 75 mm and 100 by 100 mm. This is the latch, which is going to be at the back facing the wall or closer to the wall. And here is the hydraulic system. This is probably using some gas hydraulic system, and there is a nut here to tighten and loosen the tension. Read the operation manual before use. Caution mechanical injury. And here at the bottom of the stand, we can see a few holes. 5 are actually for the big screws to screw onto the base. For this review, I will be installing the XPPen Artist Pro 22 Gen 2 pen display onto the stand. And you can see I have some microfiber cleaning cloth on the table so that I can rest the display onto the fiber cleaning cloth. So this monitor or this pen display actually comes with a stand that is already attached, and I have to unscrew this first. Before you install the stand, take a moment to check the direction of the stand. There are actually arrows on the VESA plate, and the arrow should point up to the top of the monitor. So just make sure the direction of the stand is correct before you screw this. After you install the first 2 screws, rotate the stand 45 degrees so that you can see the other hole, and put the third screw in, and lastly turn this 45 degrees in the other direction and locate the last hole here. I'm almost done here. I just need to tighten this a bit more, and it's quite difficult to tighten using this Allen key screwdriver. Bad news, as I tried to tighten this, the screw actually broke. So this is the length of the screw, and this is the broken screw, and I don't think it would be possible to remove this broken part out. But if you know how to remove this out from the hole here, let me know in the comment section below. So the reason why I had to tighten this so tight is because when I tried to move the stand, I can still feel the VESA mount move. And when I tighten it further, it broke. So what XPPen should have provided is actually a spacer. I do not have a spacer, so I'm just going to put this cardboard here and put this here so that I can install this on top of the cardboard so that the VESA mount will not move later. With the help of the cardboard between this plate and the display, now when I rotate the stand, this metal plate does not move anymore. Earlier, without the cardboard, when I rotate, I can still see the metal plate move, and no matter how hard I tighten, the metal plate would still move. So it would be good to have some spacer between, or in this case I'm using a cardboard, between the metal plate and the display. So now this is very secure, very tight. Next, you can press the latch down like this and pull the stand up, and you should only do this after you screw the stand onto the display. With the stand vertical, now you can install the base onto the stand, and you can align this to the stand using the two vertical extrusion here. So yeah, make sure you lock the latch properly and screw this in, screw the 5 screws in. So this is how it looks after assembly, and let's put this upright. To adjust the angle of the display, you pull the latch towards you, so you can adjust the display to 90 degrees or to 20 degrees. You can actually go all the way to the back. And to adjust the angle of the stand, just again pull the latch towards you and move the display down. And you can adjust the angle of the display as well as the stand together at the same time. The movement is actually quite smooth, so this is quite easy to adjust. I just realized that this is very loose, so let's see what happens if I tighten this. Okay, I have turned this clockwise several times, and if you turn it too many times, the tension will be tight. So now when I pull the latch to raise the display up, I cannot raise it up because now this is too tight. So to loosen this, I have to turn this anti-clockwise. I have managed to loosen the tension, so now I can adjust the angle of the stand and the angle of the display together easily. Now if the tension works fine for you after you assemble everything, you can just leave it as it is. Now when adjusting the angle of the stand will actually lock into several positions. For example, right now this is horizontal. If I pull the latch up and move the stand up slightly, sometimes there is a click, but now this is locked to the second position. Let me move this up slightly. That is the click from the latch, by the way. Okay, that's the click from the stand. Anyway, you can just move it however you want and just release it and let the stand move down slightly to lock into position. There are about 4, 5 or 6 positions. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 positions 6 angles for the stand. And for the display, you get 1, 2, that is the clip from the latch, 3, actually you shouldn't do that because you can just pull the latch and then let the monitor rest so that you will not hear the clicking sound, which is very loud. Yeah, so there are slightly more positions for the display. So the nice thing here is you can position this display at whichever height you prefer and at whichever angle you prefer. This stand is very stable because it's so heavy, and according to XPPen, this stand can handle a pen display up to 10 kg or a pen display that is 17 inches all the way up to 32 inch. Okay, let's say I want to have it all the way down. Just pull the latch again, push it all the way down and let it rest. So at this angle where the display and the stand will take up the most area, the distance from the back of the stand to the front of the display for this 22-inch display is 50 centimeters or around 20 inches. So make sure your table has enough space for this. So this stand is definitely quite big. From the back to the front, it's about 36 centimeters or 14 inches. And earlier I mentioned that if you pull this display down to the front, you are going to need even more space. So just please measure the size of your table first before you buy the stand. So one of the main selling features for this stand is obviously how flexible it is when it comes to changing the angle of the display and also the height of the display. Another feature is you can rotate the display vertically like this, and you can actually rotate it with just one hand, and it will lock to the portrait orientation, and you can rotate it the other way as well like this. Now before you rotate, make sure there is enough allowance at the bottom, because otherwise if your pen display is too big, the bottom of the display is going to hit the table. And this is 22-inch, so I can still rotate it without the display hitting the bottom. But if you are using a 24-inch, please angle it like this before you rotate. So how does it feel to draw on a pen display that's on this stand? It feels good because this is very stable. I'm not sure how this stand compares to an ergonomic arm because I have not used an ergonomic arm with a pen display before, but all I can say is this is really stable. And right now the pen display is actually elevated, so this is not touching the table and there is no movement at all. So when you're drawing, you can expect a very stationary surface. And from my seated position, I can adjust the angle of the display very easily. I can also adjust the height of the display very easily. Let's have it higher, like this. Okay, looks good, feels good. Right, to conclude, can I recommend this stand? I would say yes. It looks good and it works well. It works as advertised. Just be aware of the VESA mounting. More specifically, I would highly recommend you place a thin piece of cardboard between the metal plate here and your pen display, so that when you screw the stand to your pen display, the VESA mount will not move. So having a spacer, or in this case a cardboard, between the metal plate and the pen display is crucial. I'm actually quite glad that I'm the one who broke the screw instead of you, because the display and the stand are sponsored by XPPen. If I had spent money to buy the display and the stand and the screw broke inside the pen display, I would be quite sad. Alright, so if you guys have intention to buy the pen display or the stand, consider using the affiliate links that I have for you in the video description below to support my YouTube channel and the work that I do here. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.